Hi and welcome to today's class. So today's class is called Stretch It Out. So if that's what you're here for, you are in the right place. However, it might be slightly different than what you expect. A lot of us have been taught that flexibility comes from pulling or pushing into a stretch, but real lasting flexibility doesn't come from forcing a range. It comes from creating strength and stability within that range. So today, move with intention, owning your movement, and connect to your core and to your limbs, and teach your body that it's safe to move freely. So, as usual, I do have blocks with me today. You do not need them. If you do not have blocks, that's absolutely fine. You'll just be placing your hands on the floor instead. So, coming down onto our backs, if you have got a block, you're going to grab it, place it between your thighs, the skinny or the medium way. Have a little hug of that block. Lay your head down on the ground. Okay, so arms can run alongside your body. And we're just going to do some caterpillar rolls here. So lengthen the tailbone towards the heels, roll the spine up, so you're still keeping those back ribs just below the shoulder blades on the ground, and then roll straight back down again. So rolling up and down, a little bit like that caterpillar type motion. When you get to the top, have a little squeeze of those glutes, and then lower straight back down. So pushing into your feet as you lift, and then lower. So like I said at the beginning, throughout class today, we're not going to be forcing stretches or forcing ranges of motion. We do want to create some strength, we want to create some stability, and that's where that lasting flexibility comes from. So be mindful, go with your range of motion, perhaps come back to this class a few times and notice how it feels once you've done it a few times over. So remembering to hug that block. As always in my class, we will start with just warming these glutes up a little bit, warming the core up, because again, we want these things firing to help us create that nice stretch feeling. We want our body feeling slightly warmer so that we can stretch in a nice, safe way. So take one more and then stay up. So lengthen the tailbone to the heels. Just give that lower back a little bit of a stretch. Take your hands up towards the ceiling like you're holding a tray. Pull back on your left fingers with your right hand, heel of the hand lifting up towards the ceiling. Let your chin tuck into your chest slightly. Just lengthen out the back of the leg, back of the head, and give that block a little bit of a squeeze. And then switch hands, so pulling back on your right fingers. Take your thumb out to the side as well, so that's just a little different stretch that you'll get in the forearm. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then release your hands down by your sides and nice and slowly roll all the way down. If you've got a block, just remove that from your legs. You'll interlace your hands behind your head, elbows up towards the ceiling. So you'll take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to just start to curl up. So pull your front ribs down, the belly pulls down to help lift your shoulders and your head up. So you're not pulling on your head is just nicely in your hands, and your gaze is just between your knees. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you curl up, and then your left knee will just come up over your left hip. So hold steady, and then lower that left foot, and then inhale as you lower. Exhale as you curl up, right knee up over the right hip. So notice as you bring that leg up how the core has to work a little bit more. Place that foot down, inhale as you lower. Exhale as you curl up, left knee up, and then place your left heel just below your right knee. So coming into what is this figure of four position. Unhook, land the foot, inhale lower. Exhale, curling up, right knee over the hip. Then that right heel lands just below that left knee. Try and stay lifted off your shoulders. Land that foot. Inhale as you lower. Exhale, curling up, left knee up, left heel lands in that figure of four. Now release your right hand and reach it through that gap in between your legs. So try and reach up slightly higher. Hand behind the head, unhook, place that foot down, inhale lower. Last one, exhale as you lift, right knee up, land that right heel into your figure of four. Reach your left hand through the gap. Imagine there's something there at the top of the mat you want to get. A hand behind the head, unhook, land the foot, and then inhale as you lower down. Bring your knees into your chest, have a little hug and a rock from side to side. And then keep your knees into your chest. Take your hands behind your head again and let your elbows come wide. So you're just opening your chest. And then from there, you're going to start to roll with your knees in the same position. Roll to your left and your right elbow will just come and cup around your skull. So you're just rolling and on your left side. So you're just curled up in a ball. You're going to take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to start to open this right elbow. Start to turn the chest towards the ceiling. That right elbow opens, just flares out. Those knees are still stacked. And then inhale, bring that elbow back. So exhale as you open, and then inhale as you come back. So just opening and closing. Rather than thinking about collapsing down, think about reaching your right elbow towards the front of the room. And back. So moving with your breath, opening into the armpit. And that head, that gaze goes up towards the ceiling. You might notice after you've done a couple, these get a little bit nicer and easier. And then roll back onto your back. Bring those knees in. Take those arms wide. You're going to roll over to your right side and then bring that left elbow so it cups around your head. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to start to open that left elbow. Open, take the gaze up to the ceiling, the chest up to the ceiling. Reach that left elbow away and then bring it back, just cupping your skull. And then open and close. So it should feel quite nice for the front of the chest. It's a lovely stretch. And those knees, when they're up and in this kind of nice flexed position, tucked in, really keeps the lower back in a nice position for us to just roll and open the chest. Last one. And then roll back onto your back. And we're going to come up to all fours. So roll to one side or rock yourself all the way up and over onto all fours. So we're going to come into a downward facing dog. And we're going to come into a three-legged dog. So hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take your knees about hip width apart. Tuck the toes, hover the knees, pike the hips up, take a small shift back. I've got a soft bend in my knees. And then from there, you're going to lift your left leg up to hip height. Okay, so we're going to do a little movement now for the hips and the outside of the hips. So you'll bend that left knee. You'll open the hip. Okay, so my shoulders don't turn, my spine's not turning, it's still facing the mat. And then as I start to close this left leg, I'm going to bring that knee behind my right. So the left pelvis just dips down a little bit. And then you open and close. So if you stay there, if you're slightly confused, I will turn to the front. So the left leg is bent, you'll open and close. Open and close. So just take a couple of rounds there, just getting used to that movement. And then place that left leg down, reach the right leg up. Bend the knee. Open the hip. without turning the chest or the arms. And then that right knee is going to come behind the left. So imagine you're trying to cross your legs and then dip that right side down slightly and then push and lift up. So you're just opening and closing. So really working the tissues all around the hip. They can get very tight, not very happy. Open and close. We're going to do this move again, so have a good go at it. And then release your foot down and then lower the knees down. Come into a child's pose. So take those knees wide, big toes to touch. Pad your hands forward and release your head down to the ground. Take a couple of rounds of breath, in and out. And then hands under the shoulders, come back into your down dog. Pedal your feet, so bend one knee, straighten the other. And then walk your feet towards your hands. You'll push down and rise up. Nice full body stretch, reaching the fingertips up, hands to heart center. Okay, so I will use my blocks. We're going to do one round of sun salutations, and then we're going to do just one sequence. So coming to the front of the mat, you'll inhale your arms forwards and up. You'll fold down, bend the knees, land the hands, step the right foot back. Lower the knee, untuck your toes, sweep your arms forwards and up. So coming into your 90-90 position. So get that right glute working and reach your fingertips up. Let your rib cage lift up out of your pelvis. Hands come down, so just move the blocks. Step the left foot back, right foot back. Lower the knees. Lower down slowly. And then inhale, drag the hands back. You lift the chest, cobra. And then exhale, push back through the knees, tuck the toes, lift into your down dog. Okay, so the right foot's going to step forwards, or you can lower the knees. Step your right foot forward, point your left toe, and sweep your arms forwards and up. So really think, stretch the spine, tuck that tailbone just slightly, just to get that extra length. Hands come down, tuck the back toe, and step to the front. Push down and rise up. We're just doing one more of those. So folding down, left foot steps back. You're going to lower the knee, but keep your toes tucked this time. Sweep your arms forwards and up. So get a stretch for the bottom of the foot. So push your left big toe into the ground. And then this right foot at the front, try and see if you can drag it back. It won't move. It's an isometric contraction where you're dragging it back towards your left knee. And then try and drag your left knee towards the front. So you're scissoring your legs together. Hands come down. Right foot slides back, left foot slides back. Lower the knees. Lower slowly. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, push back and up. Walk your feet in a bit, down dog. So from here, the left foot will step forward, so you can lower your knees and step the left foot forward. The right knee comes down as you rise up. Your right toes are tucked. Sweep those arms forwards and up. So first off, give that big toe, that right big toe, a little bit of a push into the ground, so that flexing of the bottom of the foot. And then that left foot, try and drag that left foot back. And then try and drag your right knee forwards. So feel everything light up in the legs. Hands down and step to the front. Push down and rise up. Hands to heart center. Okay, so we're going to move through a little sequence now of stretchy but strengthening type moves. So we'll inhale those arms forwards and up. Fold down, bend the knees. The right foot will step back. Lower the knee, keep the toe tucked so we can get that nice stretch for the bottom of the foot, and then sweep those arms forwards and up. So back into that low lunge. So give that right glute a squeeze and then reach your right fingertips up slightly higher. And then reach your left fingertips up slightly higher. So you're just trying to reach one hand and then reach the other. So just extending through the sides of the body. Take one more each side. And then your right hand will come to the floor or a block. You're going to turn your chest to the left and then reach your left arm up. And then this left hand is going to come and land at your lower back with the palm of the hand facing away. So it's a bind. You can stay here with those back toes tucked. You can lift your right knee. You're pushing the floor away and let that right ear just drop down towards your ear. Take a few rounds of breath here. Again, those legs are scissoring towards one another. If your knee is up, you're going to lower that knee down. If you're using a block, I like it on the medium setting for this. Both hands are going to come to land on the block or the floor on the inside of this left foot. So from here, the hands are going to stay put. It's just the feet that are going to move. So lift the back knee. You're going to pivot all 10 toes to the right. So you come into a straddle. Arrange the block at a different height if you need it, or come onto your fingertips. And then you take a little bend through that right knee. So your left leg is straight. You're going to pulse that right knee. So a little bend and then push and straighten a little bit. Bend and straighten. So I call this, it's a little bit of a stretchy stretch move. So we're stretching the right side of the body. So you're really arcing those ribs out towards the side. And you're stretching the inner seam of this left leg. So just take a couple more there. Last one. And then turn your feet back to the front. You can move your blocks. We're coming into down dog. So you can lower your knees or step back into down dog and then lift that left leg up to hip height for three-legged down dog. You're going to bend that left knee. This is what we did right at the beginning. So you open the hip and then that left knee tucks behind the right. So the left side of the hip comes down slightly. So it's like crossing your legs. And then open and close. Okay, so the chest, check in, it's not turning. It's just the hip that's doing the movement. The right leg's working super hard as well, the one that's stabilising on the floor, whilst the left side's moving. So pushing the floor away. One more. And then lower down onto all fours. I'm going to grab my block for my left hand. Okay, modified side plank. So kickstand your left leg, the right leg goes to the back, and then you sweep your right arm up. So we're going to come through a gate position. So this left glute is holding nice and strong. Using the strength of your core, you're going to rise up. Right hand comes down the leg, left arm reaches up and over. So pushing down to get a little bit more of a stretch. And then nice and slowly, you land that hand on the floor of the block and reach your right hand to the front of the mat. Rising up, gate, and nice and slowly down. So really try and think about this controlled movement. So this controlled movement creates that strength and the stability that we need. Sometimes it's a lot quicker to move through things really fast. A lot easier, sorry, to move through things really fast. Last one. Reach those fingertips to the front. And then a big step. So this left foot now is going to step to the front. You'll swivel on that left knee. If you're using a block, place it at the front. You're going to step into that right foot and then the left leg is just going to cross behind. So you're in what is a cross ankle forward fold. I have a nice bend in my knees and I'm just going to move my hips from side to side. So we're still trying to have a nice open chest. So imagine cobra type feeling. The core is just pulling up. And then from there, this left leg now is going to go back. So you're on your right foot. You're going to bend that left knee, bend both knees as you draw the left knee in next to the right, and then take that left leg back and push down as you do that. So bring it in, bend, push, and lift. So getting into the hamstring, getting a bit of strength to the hamstring and a bit of stretch. So all of this kind of dynamic movement. One more. And then land that foot down next to the right, push down. You're going to rise up. We're going to have a nice side body stretch. So take the left hand down, reach the right arm up and over, and then the right hand down, reach the left arm up and over, and release. So we're going to do the other side. So grab your blocks if you're using them. Sweep those arms forwards and up. Folding down, so bend the knees, land the hands, the left foot will step back, lower the knee, keep your toes tucked as you sweep your arms forwards and up. Get into that nice 90-90 position, reach the left fingertips and then reach the right fingertips. So just alternate those, reaching, getting one side of the body to just reach a little bit further than the other. All whilst you're holding your legs nice and stable. Left hand will come to the block or the floor. You're going to turn your chest to the right and then reach your right arm up. And then take your right hand so it comes at your lower back. The palm is facing away. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder. You can stay here. Or you can lift your back knee, and again, pushing the floor away, scissoring those legs together, create more space. Take one more breath. If the back knee is lifted, you're going to lower it down. Place your hands or your block on the inside of the right foot. Then lift the back knee, turn all 10 toes to the left, hands stay put. Then take a bend into that left knee and just pulse there. So rearrange your hands, but ideally they want to be somewhere near your right foot. So you're really getting space through this left side of the body and on the inside of that right knee. So it doesn't need to be a big bend of that left knee. And my head is just resting in between my arms. It's actually, my head's just resting on my left arm. One more. And then turn back to the front. So we're coming into down dog and we're sweeping our right leg up and back. You bend the right knee, you open the hip, and then that right knee just tucks behind the left. So imagine you're trying to cross your legs. And then open and close. So we're opening and closing, just moving the tissue. So sometimes, you know, sort of if you are going through perimenopause or menopause, then the outsides of the hips can really get quite tight. So these kind of moves are lovely for that. Connecting to the core, to those limbs, all of those things I said at the beginning that help create more flexibility within the body. And lower that right foot down. Lower the knees down. Grab your block if you're using it for your right hand. You'll kickstand your right leg, left leg will shoot to the back of the mat. So the right glute needs to be pushed through. Open the front of the right hip and that left arm reaches up. So make sure your right shoulder blade is drawing down towards your pelvis so it's not punching forwards. Using the strength of your core, start to lift your torso up. Left hand down, right arm, just reaching, stretching. Nice and slowly coming down. Land that hand, reach your fingertips to the front. So rising up and down. So enjoying that stretch. And also remembering all the time, just going within your range. Doesn't need to look exactly like mine. Let's take one more. Reach up and over. And then place that right hand down. You're going to step this left foot to the front, so you'll swivel on your right knee. If you're using blocks, you'll place them down, or your hands will be on the floor. Step into this left leg, and then place the right foot behind in a cross ankle forward fold. Bend in the knees, and then let your hips go from side to side. So if you don't have a block, your hands will be on the floor, so you will be a little bit more hinged forwards. I just love blocks. They bring the floor a little bit closer, means that I can have that nice long spine. And then take your weight into your left leg, your right foot goes back. Okay. Get yourself steady. So there's a little bend in my left knee. Right knee comes in next to the left. You bend and then straighten. So bend and straighten. So that nice dynamic stretch of the hamstring, working the glutes as well, of course. Nice long spine. 2 more. So creating strength. We need that for flexibility. And then land that right foot down. Sweep those arms forwards and up. Right hand comes down. Left arm, reach it up. Push evenly through both feet as you side bend over to the right. Left hand down. Reach that right arm up. Push down and side bend to the left. And release. And then come down onto the ground. Just take your feet as wide as the mat, knees up to the ceiling, arms out to the side. Let your knees fall to the left and then to the right. Just getting a little bit of movement going for the hips, for the spine. Let your head go in the opposite direction to the knees. Feel free to hold in any position if that feels okay and you need to keep the knees to one side. Take one more. And then just extend those legs long, bring your head back to center and just take a moment laying on your back, just noticing how you're feeling. Perhaps noticing a little bit more strength, more stability, and hopefully a little bit of a stretch as well. Just let your body ground down into the earth and just thanking yourself for carving out time in your day to move, to explore, and to be curious about movement and different ways of stretching. From my heart to yours, namaste.